Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, Sonny kicks Ava out. Okay? He is just done with her. And he pretty much is like, I could embarrass you last night. I could have sat there and kicked you out last night, but I wanted to be generous. And she's like, okay, well, let me get a couple more things together and, let me sit there and try to find a place or whatever. He was like, no. You're leaving now. And he's just done at this point. And she tries to play the whole, oh, but I'm the only person that you're able to trust. You can't trust your family. I'm the only person that got your back. But he's pissed off at her because, she's the one that ratted out Alexis. Basically, Smith is saying that she lost her license because of Ava, which I strongly disagree with. Okay? I strongly disagree with because the same way I feel about Alexis's losing her license. It's the same way I feel about Carly going to jail for insider trading. At the end of the day, the people that didn't like them wouldn't have had the evidence to use against them if they didn't commit the crimes themselves, right? Ava did not like the way that Alexis dealt with Julian. Okay, that was her brother right there, and she felt like Alexis disrespected him, hurt him, and so she saw it as his payback. And yes, I understand people snip the same, but it wasn't her business and it was malice. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Okay? All those feelings doesn't matter because she's still the one that committed the crime. So I understand why Christina was upset because that's her mom and she's going off of feelings. But if she took those feelings out for 5 minutes, she would realize that, you know what? Yeah, she's the one that, committed the crime in the first place. But he's done. He's done. He throws all her crimes in her face about Connie, about Morgan, switching Morgan's pills. You notice they've been talking a lot about Morgan, right? Now, just on a little sidebar, I think I read on Soap Dep or whatever that it's confirmed that Byron Craig, the guy that played Morgan, he's coming back, which I'm very excited for. But anyway, brings up all her is. She gets upset. She's all like, "Oh, you're not perfect out there. Um, you know, you've hurt your family and this, that, and the third." And she's also upset the fact that she's like, "Okay, Avery's staying with you, but like what's going on?" So he kicks her out, and as she's talking, he slams the door in her face. And I don't know why, but that was just funny though. That was just hilarious. Um, so yeah, that happened. So I'm just going through it. Diane comes in, gives him the restraining order, the temporary custody order for emergency custody for Chase to have. He gets upset. He starts getting defensive. He's all like, "You're taking away my little girl," and this, that, and third, and really starts to get just all up in the face about it. And she gives him some tough love and just basically just like, "Listen, if you come anywhere near Violet, you're going to jail. That is it, point blank, period." Now, how many times you want to sit there and come at her and try to make her feel guilty instead of saying, "Oh well, she's just doing this just for billable hours"? I'm like, you're the one that's there destroying your life. And you're the one that's there pushing your daughter away by the things that you're doing. All that anger, that's not doing anything. So he calls Scotty. Right off the bat, I was like, bro, listen, if you're calling Scotty, you practically already lost. Scotty is just like, I'm not even going to take the case. I don't know if he was going to take the case because of the morality of just everything, and this guy's not in his right mind or whatever to really be taking care of a child, or if he just looked at it and was just like, this is a losing case, this ain't gonna work. He also tries to talk about suing the hospital. Now, that's something that he probably could do, but with this whole Violet thing and just him just going downhill, yeah, he ain't winning that. And he does sit there and say, you need to sit there and get clean. That's how you can get your little girl back, is to get clean. And he leaves. He tells Liz um about everything. And Liz went to her own meeting for support, to sit there and try to see if she can help. And just, Scotty talks about like his rock bottom is going to be a lot different than mine's, my dad. But the further he goes, the harder it's going to be for him to sit there and climb back up to the top. So while that's going on, Carly comes to go and see Brennan for advice. And he gives her some advice, but he also pretty much, because, she basically was like, the FBI got me for RICO charges. And Jason has been working for them to, try to get me clear. And Brennan was like, bottom line, this is something that everyone's been saying. Yeah, they're not gonna honor their agreement. They're gonna sit there and keep using Jason until they can't use him anymore. The best thing you can sit there and do is hire a lawyer and get your defense right, because um, that's just how it is at this point. That's just how it's gonna have to be. Um, now after um, so after Anna wakes up and Jason calls Maxie to sit there and check on Anna to make sure she's okay, and after they finish, I guess, making love for the second or third time, she's able to sit there and while Valentine's making breakfast, she's able to sit there and flip around or whatever. And this time she does find a satellite phone. Probably, like she says when she does talk to Jason, that he's using to, do his business with Pikeman. So she's able to find something. Um, they talk for a little bit. Valentine is talking about regret and why he never left Port Charles because of her, and maybe they can kind of get back to where they were. Um, and Anna's like, what about Charlotte? He's like, well, one thing at a time. And so they talk, and she eventually leaves, talks to Jason. Is also just like, Jason, you shouldn't have been outside that long. You shouldn't have been outside because he's good at spotting surveillance. Like, this whole thing could have been blown. And she feels bad for she feels like she's betraying him. But I'm like, after everything that he's done, knowing what Charlotte was up to, and you still somehow feel bad, like what are we doing at this point? Um, but she's like, hey, listen, he's a bad guy, so I gotta take him down. Um, so Finn, after not getting any help from Scotty, decides to call an Uber. Well, Uber drinks or whatever, and orders some vodka straight. But then he looks at the restraining order, he smashes the bottle on the wall, and decides to leave the apartment. Like, I mean, it's a good thing that he was hit with that restraining order. I mean, like I said, it's just heartbreaking because it's like, it's one thing when you have to try to get clean for yourself. It's another thing we have to try to get clean for your kids. That's an entirely different uphill battle. It's like, in a lot of ways, it should be more of a motivation, but you know. Um. Also, Jason comes by, talks to Liz, checks up on her. Um, they talk about Finn hitting rock bottom. Also talk about Jake and him making plans and everything like that. Now, see, this all seems all great and very very nice. But Liz don't know that he spent 2 years away from Port Charles to help Carly. He chose to sit there and leave Jake for Carly. And even though she says that Jake is not that upset, I'm pretty sure that anger is going to come right back up when he finds out why he left. And that BS excuse of, oh well, I had to sit there and protect Carly because if Carly went to jail, what would have happened to the kids? Their dads. See that doesn't fly with me. It really doesn't. So while this all seems all nice and good and everything like that, that's just going to not really go anywhere in the long run. Um, oh, and like I said, Anna talks to Jason, and she feels like she's portraying Valentine. I'm just like, I don't really know why you're. Even at one point, she said that her first instinct was to protect Valentine. I'm just like, Valentine's the reason why you shot a kid. Like, what are we protecting? I don't get that. Like, I feel like that's among the top, not the absolute, but the top ultimate portrayals right there, or the top ultimate things wrong that you can sit there and do to someone, you know. And you're sitting there talking about protecting him, and you feel bad for like working him at the way he did. Like, yeah, I don't get it. Um, I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else that wound up happening. But if I missed anything, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful and Young and the Restless, and I will see you in the next video.